What's going on, beautiful people? I am back to share a quick, and I do mean quick, because this was something that happened yesterday, but I wanted to share a resource with you all. Again, if anybody is new, I am more concerned. Well, my channel, let me rewind. Um, on my channel, I like to focus on health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. So the whole being holistic, right? I am an educator. And so I do want to share tools with you all that I've learned myself. But also even tools that I, try to work with the students and families that I do serve. So anyways, I wanted to share something really quick that helped me out in dealing with my own emotions and, anger and, sitting with my emotions and feelings. I am a sensitive person. I do feel intensely. But and I've been like that since as a child. But over the years, and of course being more sensitive, we grow up and we think that, or we're taught like, emotions are wrong or they're bad. And so, we're not necessarily taught skills and emotional intelligence. Or, maybe we're just taught tools by our guardians, our parents, family, loved ones, our teachers, and the tools that they knew at the time. So, anyways, what I wanted to share though is that, for me in my own journey in dealing with anger, I've always been that person who, or I was that person, because, she's learned now, like, no, ma'am, you need to feel it, okay? That way you are no longer that, you're not bound by your emotions, but also making sure that you express them or deal with them in a way that's healthy for yourself, and for others. So not projecting your emotions onto other people. No one is responsible for you, for your emotions, but also not judging yourself for feeling the things that you feel, and again, a part of the inner child healing, in my own process, I mean, really, guys, it's ugly crying. It really is. And it does take time for you to like be in communities or be around someone who holds space for you as you do that. But also for us to know that we are dealing with other human beings who have their own trauma and things that they carry from childhood. So, anyways, a resource and something that I tried yesterday, and I've known about this, and not that I ever wrote it off, but I never sat down to do it, is EFT tapping, and tapping, help me Lord, emotional freedom tapping. It's a technique that people use, especially dealing with, anger, frustration, stress, fear, all that. So I am going to put down in the description box a link of a video that I used yesterday. And again, beware. And I don't say this like spooky or anything, but just understand that this is a tool to use whenever you do get in that heightened sense of anger. And, I think something for as an adults, sometimes we get caught up like, that's not gonna work for me, or we don't think it is. But when I tell you, someone who is like, been on my journey for some time, and I cry and I feel my stuff and everything, baby, when I was doing that tapping, and and I really was angry, but I was like, let me turn on this video. Like, I'm angry, and I don't need to judge myself for this anger that I feel, because anger, not only, obviously our emotions, but when you don't process your emotions, it shows up in your body. So again, that's the whole point of EFT, is that it talks about the pressure points in our body, but also the people who do specialize in this, they do give great verbiage that you could say, and you can follow along with them as they say it if you do feel led to do so. But sometimes you don't even have to say it. But all I'm saying is, y'all, your baby girl, I mean, I cried like a baby yesterday. And I felt so much better after, because again, it reminded me like, okay, it's okay. It's okay for me to feel the feelings that I'm feeling. But again, feel it, grieve, cry, but also release it, And of course, I'll talk about, spiritual stuff, and give it over to God, and that I don't let for, anger and bitterness and resentment and all those things fester in my heart. Because I don't want to be in bondage to that. We don't want to be a slave to that. We don't want to be a slave to our emotions, but we do want to have tools and practical tools that can help us to deal with these things. And I do believe that EFT, and this is also like research and science studies, a scientific basis too. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you all. I will put a link down of different videos that I feel like were helpful for me. And this is also something that people do with children so if you have a child, or know other people who have children, this could also be a technique that you work on. But again, as like I said in another video before, that it's really important to practice these tools whenever you're not angry, right? Whenever you're not in that heightened sense. That way, whenever you do get there, and reason is out the window, you can just start tapping away. All right. So anyways, I wanted to share that though, because that is something that I've been doing with my own process and inner child healing. And I do look forward to sharing more techniques that I use on my journey, and hopefully that it helps you all. If you do feel, and I know also another thing, that when it comes to trauma and the things that we've all experienced, is there have been people who've been through even more traumatic things that I've ever experienced. So if you do feel like you need to have someone around you to hold space for you, someone trustworthy, or going to a therapist again, those are things that I do recommend. But I did want to share these things to you all that are free, and to not let your mind or your ego get in the way of like, oh, this ain't gonna work. You never know until you try, okay? And like I said, your girl boohooed yesterday like a baby, but I was like, it was so angry, but it's like, you know what? Let me sit with this. I do feel angry, and I was angry really at myself about different things that I allowed, or even like my level of consciousness in different times, and not even from as far as being a victim in anything as well, but also me not showing up for other people, not or projecting my emotions on other people. So stuff like that too, where it's like, man, like even my own shortcomings, none of us are perfect. And a lot of times we react or we do things based on our level of consciousness, and we use the tools that we know or we have. So we do want to practice these tools because we are now grown, and we're responsible for our emotions. Other people aren't, okay? But that doesn't mean that we can't have community or people, loved ones around us who respect that in us, and or respect our need for that, and can hold space for us as we do heal and go through our moments, and vice versa. You do the same for the next person. None of us are perfect. We all have a story and different things. But I definitely want to share this with you all. And this was longer than I had intended it to be. My apologies. But I do hope you all are well. I look forward to sharing more techniques and other things that I'm doing to help me on my journey. Y'all be blessed.